Welcome to the Forum. I'm Sheila Evans. We're glad you're here and have a wonderful show in store for you today. Our program highlights interesting and important achievements, programs, and events within our school system and our community. On today's show, New Hanover County School Safety Director Dave Spencer stops by to talk about the state of the school safety. The #1 priority in New Hanover County Schools is making sure your kids are safe each day. That will be an interview you won't want to miss. Then Eimer Smith will be on the show to talk about the North Carolina Farm to School program. And finally, we'll sit down with Jacob Treemstra and Patrick Temple from Hoggard High School to discuss their Band on the Run event. It's another great edition of the Forum, and we'll get started right after this short break.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hat person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
I am joined by Dave Spencer, and he is the Safety Director for New Hanover County Schools, here today to talk to us about the state of school safety. Fill us in.
Whew, boy, that's a wide open area there, the state of school safety. We understand all the different aspects that are involved in safety. So, and I am blessed with the opportunity to get involved in all those, from playgrounds to lockdowns with the sheriff's office to things that are going on a day-to-day basis. So we recently, within the last year or so, had a vulnerability assessment done, and a company came in and gave us some suggestions on things that we can do to improve our safety and security of our schools. Some of them were very costly. Some were the items that we could work on right away, and so we have started that, and that will be a continuous process. One of the things that they recommended, which we've been trying to get going for years, is more of a controlled access for our high schools. All of our elementary schools and our middle schools, you know, we were able to do that. We brought Roland Grice, which was the last one on board about a year ago with controlling the access. High schools have been a different animal because of their size and the number
of ways in and out.
Yeah. Absolutely. But that was a recommendation of the assessment, and something that we've been trying to push. Well, we had that planned a year ago. Well, and then, you know, the Florence kind of changed a lot of our plans a year ago. So we are back on track and hope to have that installed at all of our high schools at the beginning of the 2021 school year. So we've gotten contracts with some folks, so the electronic door access is basically what we're talking about there.
So will students swipe in or something with their ID?
Still working the particulars out regarding the student access. There will at least be on a timer, you know, during class changes, beginning of the school, during class changes, and at different times during the day. So whether or not each card will control a door access or not, that's still some conversations that are being held. Some of us from the maintenance ops department, as well as some of our high school principals, will be meeting and trying to work out all those details to iron out some of the bumps that are going. But one of the things the biggest thing I think is going to be changing the mindset that we want our schools to be warm and opening and welcoming. At the same time, we just need to control who's coming in, and this will allow us to do that a little better off. And it'll also allow us to sort of funnel where folks are coming, as opposed to just using all the doors that are on our campuses to get in. You can always get out. So from a fire perspective, you'll always be able to exit. But coming in, we would like to have a little better control over that. So it's worked well at our elementary schools and our middle schools, and so we'll be planning on that working well in our high schools as well. So we will be incorporating that in the next few months and hopefully be on board and ready to start up full swing in August.
Because the idea of having a swipe card is huge, given the population in the schools. I mean, how many cards do you think that would be just for students?
That's right.
You know.
Yeah. So, but that's something that we're working on. Another part of the assessment was more radios for communication. So we'll be able to have larger numbers of our staffs with the walkie-talkies, and also adding some repeaters, because we've got some spots in some of our schools that just make it very difficult to receive and transmit signals. So we'll be working on that. So some of the hardening aspects of our schools, you know, are covered with there in that. And then we've also got the ideas of what are we doing with our people. That's a huge topic, and we are. You've known me for a long time, and we've always stressed, know your people. You know, we want our staffs, we want our kids to know our teachers, we want our teachers to know our students, we want our administrators to know their staffs and the students.
Right.
To keep a better idea of what's going on in there. We've also provided some training, and we'll continue to provide some training for our staff. You know, we've got the Darkness to Light training that's coming up. We've got the mental health first aid training that is ongoing. And we've been pushing for a long time, you know, see something, say something. And we've got the Say Something anonymous reporting system, which is based out of the Sandy Hook Promise. Had a very good response from that. And we've also got the Ethics 360, which is another anonymous means of reporting anything any type of suspicious behavior or inappropriate behavior, notify and let us know so investigations can.
And it's as easy as going online.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
What about lockdowns? Anything new with that?
We are still working. It's good timing with your question. We will be beginning those drills with our sheriff's office very soon, within the next week or so. We expect our schools to run their own lockdown drills during the beginning part of the year. And again, it goes with that conversation. We want our staffs talking to students about it, so it's not a scare tactic. It's an awareness. So we want them to go through that conversation at the beginning of the year, practice at least once in the fall, and then we come along in the spring and provide an assessment. It's not a gotcha. We just say, you know, you did this very well. We might can improve on this. Lockdowns can occur for a lot of different reasons, so we want folks to be ready for that. We also want folks to understand you've got options. You know, in certain situations may call for certain actions that in one school may be this, or another school may be that, or one situation may call for an evacuation, or it may call for a lockdown. We want our students and our staff members, in particular our staff members, to be able to recognize the different kinds of situations and be able to respond appropriately.
Very good. Well, thanks for coming and giving us an update on
My pleasure.
what's new for 2021.
My pleasure.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Be back in a few minutes, right after these messages.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
My guest today is Eimer Smith. She's Director of Child Nutrition for New Hanover County Schools, and she is here today to talk about the North Carolina Farm to School program.
That's right.
Fill us in.
Well, North Carolina, you know, sweet potatoes. It's the #1 producer in North Carolina. We get a lot of sweet potatoes, typically during the October through December time period. During the beginning of the school year, some of our year-round schools got to experience, we actually have a pear orchard here in North Carolina, up in the mountains. So we were able to get some pears, peaches in North Carolina, apples, and so we kind of phase those in. We know when the farmers are going to produce this crop. Usually we get direction and information from NCDA, North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Science, and they usually kind of tell us, okay, these are the items that we've talked to the farmers about, and how many cases or how much do you think you're going to need? So then we look at our calendars and we kind of see, okay, when are kids going to be in session? How many, what schools, what time period? And then we try to buy as much as from North Carolina as possible.
Nice.
Now we do deal with some farmers outside of North Carolina, but mainly in North Carolina. I mean, there's some beautiful produce in North Carolina. We have collards, romaine that we're getting. And of course, strawberries.
True.
So we actually buy from some local strawberry farms here in town. Blueberries, we buy blueberries. So we're actually, we get to use our what we call entitlement money towards purchasing items from North Carolina farmers. So we're very pleased to showcase that on our serving lines.
Nice.
We did have, they just came out with a new logo, so hopefully we're going to try to get these out to all the schools. When we're featuring, and we've done this before, where we feature a certain product, we'll tell the students and our customers, where did we get this produce from?
Right.
What part of North Carolina did
fun.
it come from? So I have some examples. This is the new logo that we're going to start featuring on our serving lines.
Nice.
And probably you're going to start seeing it more out and about. The farmers are actually going to have this logo at their farms, letting the public know, hey, you know what? I service to schools.
Nice.
And so this is the brand new logo that just came out. Like I said, we have farmers all over North Carolina that kind of NCDA deals with, also who we get to have a partnership with and get to meet the farmers at a lot of meetings that we attend.
Very nice.
So we're very pleased, and a lot of times there's some new videos that just came out. So I know our New Hanover County Schools TV station, they're going to start showcasing these videos and,
Nice.
from the farmers. And and they're going to show you the process.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
They're going to show the process of when they pick them, how quickly it gets to the warehouse in Butner, North Carolina, and then it comes directly. There's not even a time lapse of when it comes to my warehouse, and then we distribute it out to schools.
Very good. Are we lucky in North Carolina to have the somewhat mild, temperatures to have access to all this?
We do have beautiful weather here. I think the thing that hurts us, we have to, sometimes is the heat. Sometimes we have some very dreadful times when it's very hot outside and it's 100 degrees, and then the farmers have to think about, did we get enough? Do we have enough irrigation or rainfall to support the crops that we're going to have out in the fields? In the in the western part of the state, we got to think about snow.
True.
And the cold weather, and did it burn any of the trees, or did it did it ruin any of our crops out in the western part of the state? And then rainfall hits us sometimes. So really, they're looking at the weather. We have people that they know exactly which farms we're going to be planting certain products on, because they can follow the weather and they know exactly where we're going to be getting the produce from.
So are you able to use any of this in your summer program?
We do. Actually, this summer we're going to feature some watermelon, some local watermelon. And kids are at seedless watermelon, so hopefully I'll find out what farm we're going to be getting those products from. Always strawberries are a beautiful product. In the summer, blueberries. We're kind of phasing out of it whenever we hit summer food service, but at least I can capture some of those items during the summer months. Apples are always beautiful product from North Carolina. So I do try to buy as much as I can from our summer food service sites, which we host, throughout New Hanover County, not only in schools, but we host at community centers, churches. So that's another topic that we'll hopefully talk about our summer food service program.
So this is really educational for some kids that don't have access to fresh fruit, isn't it?
Right. I mean, you know, some kids, they don't know where an apple comes from, and especially in North Carolina. I mean, we're going to show them on these videos, like, what farmer did we get this apple from? Watching them pick it from the tree, watching how it goes through production, you know, and then how does it get to where we are at their school? And the quality is very, important to us too. We want to make sure that they're getting a beautiful product, and we want them to try different varieties of types of apples, pears, the kale. We've had kale. We kind of put that into their salads. We do kale chips in schools where we bake the kale. Romaine is a beautiful product that comes out of North Carolina, and we use that a lot in our salads on the serving line, and sandwiches and different products, that we can make with that product.
Very cool. Well, those videos ought to be exciting to see.
I know. I've watched a few of them, and believe me, they are very entertaining. They're informative, and actually you get to see other, actually kids in the schools in North Carolina enjoying these nice products.
Cool. Very cool. Well, Eimer, thanks for filling us in on North Carolina Farm to School.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages. Good deal.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
I'm joined by 2 Hoggard marching Vikings. To my close left, I have Jacob Treemstra, and to my far left, Patrick Temple. And as their shirts can tell you, we are here to talk about Hoggard Band on the Run. How did this race get started?
So 2 years ago was when we first ran this race, and we were always looking for stuff to raise funds because running a band program, costs a lot of money between bus rides, competitions, instruments, and we're just always looking for something new. We sell fruit, we've tried selling mattresses, but we said, hey, we've seen 5Ks all around town, a lot of us like to run, and we could put our own musical spin on it, so we figured why not try it out, and it's been working these past 2 years.
Okay, and Patrick, tell me what the funds are used for.
So basically each year, kind of like Jacob said, we have the competitions each year. Bus rides cost a lot.
They do.
But I'm pretty sure it was either last year or 2 years ago, we bought whole new drums, all the percussion equipment was redone, and instruments and stuff like that. When we do a competition, we'll get food maybe, someone will get McDonald's for us, stuff like that.
Nice. So Jacob, how did you get involved and why do you chair this event?
So the first year that we did this, like I was talking about our little musical spin, we started putting these little bands, these little groups to play around the track, and I started writing music for one of these bands, and that was just the most fun experience, one of the most fun things I did in band that year. So I really wanted to keep this race going, and this year, just with scheduling and stuff, it was kind of difficult to get this race, but I said I really didn't want it to go away. I think it's a lot of fun for us and the participants, so I said, all right, I'll lead the charge, and Patrick is in one of my playing groups that I like to do, so I'm sure he's in it for the same reason. It's a lot of fun.
And so the groups are all throughout the course?
Yeah, normally we have a few small groups around, and we'll have a big group towards the finish line,
that sounds fun.
so that people just hear little different songs as they go around the track.
Oh, that's fun. And you wrote some of the music. Did you write new stuff for this year?
Yes. So be on the lookout for that. We've got the Cupid Shuffle, so we can do some dances while we're playing and stuff. Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Patrick, tell me how people can sign up for the race.
So there's a website online. If you look up Hoggard Band on the Run,
Okay.
you can find it and sign up. And the race is May 23rd.
Okay.
It's Memorial Weekend. It's on a
Okay.
Saturday.
Gotcha. What time?
What, 9?
8:30.
8:30.
Yes.
Gotcha. And we talk a little bit more about what makes this so unique.
Right. So I've talked about the playing groups. That's probably the biggest thing that people notice
Right.
is that there's just music coming from all around Hugh McCrae where the race is held. We also, last year, we started a little music trivia thing where we had signs around the track, and at the end we had a music trivia contest to see who picked up the most as they were going around the race. And so we'll be having some new trivia this year too. Yeah, and having the musical angle, it's more than just the trivia, and it's more than just people playing around the track. Just the whole thing is kind of a celebration of band. So we hope anyone who's a band alumni, not just of Hoggard Band, but in general, comes out to celebrate this event.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Actually, I was sick last year. Patrick, tell me why you think this race is important.
Well, a big thing is it's a big fundraiser for us. And it's a good reason for people to get outside, and it's another race. People, I mean, it's not super competitive, so people that they can say, hey, I'm going to do this race that's it's kind of fun, and it's a different twist. You don't really get a lot of races. I mean, I don't know. For me, I don't see a lot of races with people playing instruments around.
Right.
You don't see that around that much.
Is it fun to be with your fellow band members and you're not rehearsing for a competition or a game or something like that, and you're all together outside?
It is. It's a fun day. It's a fun day because usually, the last 2 years we've done that small group together, and I think the first year we did it we were the only group that were around the track, right?
Yeah, we had us.
And then people started to join in, so we kind
I
of
want to do that too.
Yeah, I mean, so we kind of started that, and it's grown from there. So it's fun to see that.
Now, Jacob, tell me about the race itself. 5K, fun run.
Yes, so we've got, it's at Hugh McCrae Park, and so we've got a 5K that goes on, so 3.1 miles going twice around the track, and then we also have a fun run for people who are more just out there to enjoy the music and be out there with friends and other band alumni. So that just goes around once around the track. So yes, we do have the 5K and fun run, depending on how competitive or how much you want to exert yourself that day. Afterwards, normally we have some sort of celebration where we go out and have some food or cater or something like that. So we'll keep you guys updated on that situation, but there's a lot to offer at
Gotcha. Patrick, tell me a little bit about the band program. How many members do you have at this point?
I'm pretty sure we're around a little over 100 this
cool.
year. Each year we get a new set of freshmen and new seniors leave every year. So I mean, it's it's sad to see people like Jacob go.
Maybe he'll come back
Yeah.
next year and run in the run, right?
Yeah, Jacob will probably be back next year. But we start out the year in the fall doing band camp. Well, really in the summer.
August, yeah.
And but it really picks up right around October when we're having football games every Friday, and we'd have Saturday competitions, and then we go through in December and we do our Christmas concert, and then we start getting ready for MPA, which is what we're doing right now.
And that used to be called Festival, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so we're preparing 3 songs, and we'll go on the 18th, March 18th, and they'll judge us and say, they'll tell us what our strengths and weaknesses are and where we stand as an ensemble.
And that's another thing that can't happen without fundraisers like these. It costs money to go on the bus trips. It costs money to pay for food as we go out there for a whole day trip. So pretty much everything Patrick just described wouldn't happen without fundraisers like the 5K.
Yeah.
How do you think you've gained from being in band?
Oh, I've definitely gained a lot of, obviously, musical skill, and I've had a lot of fun playing music, but also with things like this, leadership, how to cooperate. That's probably the biggest thing is we're all 100 of us are all part of one big team. We have our separate friend groups and stuff, but whenever we need to come together, we're all in. And that's probably the most interesting thing about band.
I always said the band was a family.
Yes.
You
that's
might
the best way
not
to describe
necessarily
it.
love that brother or sister right now, but you've got to be part of that.
You're all in
family.
it together, yeah.
What do you think you've gained from it?
I mean,
About
kind of
the
adding
same?
on to what Jacob said,
Okay.
it's, from the transition from middle school to high school, it really helped because immediately you have people that you have similar things that you like. And so everyone, you might not necessarily be best friends, but you all are
Part of
similar
that
in a
family.
way. Yeah.
So Band on the Run, Saturday, May 23rd, and you can sign up by The website?
Yes.
HoggardBandOnTheRun.com?
Just look it up. We're with Setup Events this year. They're the ones helping us
Cool.
put on this race.
Okay.
So check it out, guys.
Jacob and Patrick, thanks for stopping by. I hope it's a nice day out and lots of folks
Yes,
running.
thank you.
We'll be
Thank you.
back in a few minutes, right after these messages.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
We hope you've enjoyed our program today. To learn more about the NC Farm to School program, please visit ncfarm2school.com. And make sure to get out for this year's Band on the Run event. For more information, visit hoggardbandboosters.com. And if you ever have any questions about the topics discussed here on our show today, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4106 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today.